What if success wasn't about working harder, getting lucky, or being born into the right family? What if it were a system, a repeatable set of steps used by some of the world's most accomplished people? Jack Canfield didn't guess his way to success. He studied it, tested it, taught it, and lived it. This is the man behind Chicken Soup for the Soul, a book series that sold over 500 million copies. But what most people don't know is that before the fame, before the millions, he was just a teacher with a message and a vision so big it terrified him. So, how did he do it? He didn't wait to feel ready. He didn't wait for permission. He applied what he now calls the success principles, a framework so powerful that it's been used by CEOs, athletes, students, and dreamers around the world. In this video, you'll discover 7 of the most life-changing principles from Canfield's system. We're not talking about clichés. We're talking about deep mental rewiring, the kind of shifts that force you to rethink how you show up in your life, starting now. Because success doesn't belong to the talented, it belongs to the trained. So if you're ready to stop hoping and start designing your future with intention, subscribe now. Because in the next few minutes, your definition of success may never be the same again. Chapter 1. Take 100% responsibility for your life. Imagine this. You oversleep, get stuck in traffic, spill coffee on your shirt, and snap at someone you love. You tell yourself, today was just a bad day. But what if it wasn't? What if you created it? Jack Canfield starts his entire system with one uncomfortable truth. You are 100% responsible for everything in your life. Not 50%, not 80%, not only the stuff I can control. All of it. That means your results, your bank account, your relationships, your energy levels. It reflects your own decisions, beliefs, habits, and mindset. Most people spend their lives reacting, blaming their boss, their parents, the economy, the algorithm. But the moment you stop pointing outward and start owning everything, your life stops being random and starts being rebuildable. It's not about guilt, it's about power. Because the second you claim full responsibility, you stop being a victim, you become the architect. Canfield uses a simple formula: E plus R equals O, event, plus response equals outcome. You can't always control the event, but you can always choose your response. And that changes everything. So here's the challenge. What's one area of your life you keep blaming on someone or something else? What would happen if, just for today, you took full responsibility for it? Chapter 2. Be clear why you're here. Most people are chasing success, but they have no idea why. They want more money, time, and freedom. But if you ask them, what are you here to do? They wouldn't have a clear answer. Jack Canfield believes that without purpose, success is empty, and even worse, directionless. Because when you don't know your why, you start chasing other people's dreams. You say yes to things you don't care about. You climb ladders that are leaning against the wrong wall. But when you're clear on your purpose, everything aligns. Decisions become simpler. Distractions lose power. Momentum builds. So, how do you find it? Canfield suggests asking yourself, what brings me joy? Where do I feel fully alive? What would I do even if no one paid me? He calls this your life purpose, not some mystical calling, but the intersection of passion, service, and skill. One of his students realized her purpose wasn't to build a business, it was to build people. She shifted from selling products to mentoring others. Her income grew, but more importantly, so did her fulfillment. Purpose isn't a luxury, it's a compass. And if you don't find yours, you'll spend your life following someone else's. So here's the question. What were you put here to do, and what's stopping you from starting? Chapter 3. Decide what you want and write it down. Success doesn't come to people who want things. It comes to people who decide what they want and commit to it in writing. Jack Canfield says the moment you write your goals down, you move from wishful thinking to intentional creation. Because vague desires create vague results. But specific goals written on paper, They activate your brain, shape your focus, and shift your behavior. He tells a story about a student who wrote down, "I want to earn $100,000 a year doing work I love." She had no idea how, but the clarity changed everything. Within months, she'd changed jobs, launched a side business, and passed that number within a year. The power wasn't in the number, it was in the decision. Writing your goal is like drawing a line in the sand. It's saying, "This is where I'm going." No more drifting, no more waiting. Canfield recommends using what he calls the rule of 5. Every day, do 5 specific things that move you toward your goal. Big or small, it doesn't matter. What matters is consistency and direction. So ask yourself, what do you want? And if it's that important, why isn't it written down yet? Chapter 4. Believe it's possible. Have you ever noticed that people rarely rise above what they believe they deserve? You can have the right strategy, the right connections, even the right timing. But if you deeply believe failure is impossible, you'll sabotage it before it starts. Jack Canfield teaches that belief is the gatekeeper to action. If you believe it's possible, you'll move. If you don't, you'll hesitate, delay, and hide behind realism. But here's the truth. Every great success began as an unreasonable belief. Someone looked at the world and thought, "This doesn't exist yet, but I will make it happen." Canfield shares how, before Chicken Soup for the Soul became a global phenomenon, dozens of publishers rejected it. They said it was too soft, too emotional, too weird. But he and his co-author believed deeply that people needed hope, so they kept going. And when the book finally launched, it didn't just sell, it exploded. Because belief kept them moving when logic said stop. So ask yourself, what dream have you quietly abandoned? Not because it was impossible, but because you stopped believing you could do it. The only thing standing between where you are and what you want might not be a plan. It might be a shift in belief. Chapter 5. Take action, even if it's not perfect. You don't need a perfect plan. You need a starting point. So many people wait. They wait for clarity. They wait for the fear to disappear. They wait for the right moment, and years go by. Jack Canfield says the biggest difference between dreamers and achievers is that it is not intelligence, money, or luck. It's willingness to act before they feel ready. Because here's the truth. Clarity comes from movement, not meditation. You don't think your way into confidence and earn it through action. When Canfield started pitching Chicken Soup for the Soul, he didn't have a perfect pitch deck or marketing strategy. He had a manuscript and the willingness to hear no repeatedly. But every no refined the message. Every failure was a rehearsal for success. He teaches that the path to mastery is paved with messy first steps. So, stop waiting to be qualified. Start taking imperfect action and let progress be your teacher. The world rewards execution, not hesitation. So, what idea, project, or decision are you sitting on right now that could change your life if you took the first step? You don't have to get it right. You just have to get it going. Chapter 6. Use feedback, not failure. What if failure wasn't a dead end, but a direction sign? Jack Canfield teaches one of the most liberating success principles of all. There is no failure, only feedback. Most people avoid mistakes like they're poison. They quit at the first rejection. They shrink after criticism. They take a lost opportunity as a permanent identity. But Canfield flips the script. He says failure is simply information, a signal that something didn't work as you thought. That doesn't mean you're broken. It means you just learned something, moving you closer to the desired outcome. He tells the story of a man who pitched a product to 22 investors and was rejected 21 times. On pitch number 22, someone said yes. That product went on to generate millions. If he had stopped at rejection number 17, he never would have known how close he was. Success rarely happens in a straight line. It's more like a maze, where every wrong turn sharpens your sense of direction. So instead of asking, "Why did I fail?" ask, "What can I learn?" Because the people who go the furthest in life, they aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who keep getting up smarter every time. Chapter 7. Surround yourself with empowering people. Success isn't a solo game. It's a team sport. Jack Canfield says that your environment can either elevate you or exhaust you, and nothing shapes that environment more than the people you allow in your space. We've all heard it. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. But here's the twist. That includes their mindset, their habits, their energy, their expectations for life. If complainers, doubters, and excuse makers surround you, it's only a matter of time before you start shrinking to fit that mold. But if you choose to surround yourself with people who challenge you, those who believe in possibility and take action instead of talking change everything. Canfield recommends creating what he calls a mastermind group, a small circle of people who meet regularly to share goals, hold each other accountable, and grow together. Because success isn't just about learning new skills, it's about being in rooms where your best self is the standard, not the exception. Sometimes the fastest way to grow is to upgrade your circle. So take inventory. Who do you spend your time with? Are they building you up, calling you higher, or quietly pulling you down? If your future depends on momentum, you can't afford to carry dead weight. You've just heard 7 principles that don't just inspire, they empower. Not because they sound nice, but because they work. Authors, leaders, entrepreneurs, and teachers have used them. Now they're in your hands. But here's the truth. Knowing these principles won't change your life. Living them will. You don't need to master all 7 overnight. You just need to choose one and act on it today. Maybe it's taking responsibility for your next decision. Maybe it's writing down that goal you've been avoiding. Maybe it's calling someone who lifts you higher and spending less time with those who don't. Whatever it is, start now. If you want to explore this further, I recommend reading Stephen Covey's The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. It's a powerful companion to Canfield's system focused on daily action, integrity, and long-term growth. Because success isn't a secret, it's a series of simple principles repeated with intention. So ask yourself, which one are you willing to live today? And if this video helped you shift something inside, subscribe now for more content that helps you build your future from the inside out.